Coming up on this edition of MHS Rewind, we'll take a look at the district's new COVID dashboard and see the latest COVID numbers. We'll sit down with the district's food services director to hear about some of their new programs, and we'll show you the unique way one MHS teacher gets to work.
And in sports, we'll check in on the volleyball team as they prepare for regionals, go behind the scenes to see how the MHS football team prepares for their next opponent, and have an MHS Rewind in Focus feature story on MHS cross-country standout Carson Heath. Good afternoon, Artesians. I'm Braxton Dilley.
And I'm Cole Meyer. We'll have all those stories and more next on MHS Rewind. The MSD of Martinsville has a new COVID-19 dashboard on their website so the public can track the COVID cases in the district. The dashboard will list the number of teacher, student, and staff positive cases by school. It will also indicate the number of students at each school participating in virtual instruction because of a COVID-related reason. The dashboard will also list some of the metrics the district will consider when deciding whether to move to a different stage. The district has only reported 5 school-based positive COVID cases to date involving students, teachers, and staff. The district will update the dashboard on a weekly basis.
The district also released an updated mask policy. The new policy now allows students to remove their masks when they are outside and socially distanced. The MSD of Martinsville will reevaluate the policy on November 9th to determine if masks can be removed when socially distanced for all or some schools. The new requirement for students and staff to carry a mask with them at all times and wear it on the bus will be mandatory throughout the duration of the 2020-2021 school year.
The music department has seen their fair share of COVID-related cancellations this school year. ISMA canceled their marching band competition season, and they've turned their district solo and ensemble events into virtual competitions. But the music students at MHS continue to play and sing on with a few new safety protocols in place.
When you step foot into the band room, you can immediately see that there have been changes with social distancing and the wearing of masks.
We rehearsed for 6 weeks, 50% at a time. Never had the full group in attendance. So we had the woodwind and brass wind group rehearsing at a time, and then the percussion and guard at another time. So we kept them separate all the way up till our first football game.
They require us to be at least 6 feet apart, so we have spots marked in the room that are 6 feet away from each other, and we have to set up our chairs and stands on those dots. And we also have new face masks that you can open up and put like the mouthpiece in for wind instruments.
Just like the band, the choir had to change their usual routine as well.
Well, choir, oddly enough, is one of the riskier things to do because we're producing lots of volume and lots of air. So obviously we have to have masks like everyone else in the building, but we're pretty careful about them here. In the room, you'll see that we are actually fully 6 feet apart. We got the tape measures out, and we measured all of the seats to make sure they're 6 feet apart.
There are negatives to go along with this as well. It is tough to get used to the changes that were given in such a short amount of time.
The progression of the show, when we finally got started, moved a little slower because of that, but you know, there were positive outcomes of that because it did give us a smaller group to work with, so we were able to get more detailed, and we did a lot more training, just the fundamentals.
Schedule affects us very much, you know, as we, just like all classes, when you only see kids 2 days a week as opposed to 5, we've lost over half of our rehearsal time, and so it makes it quite a bit more challenging. Also, a lot of what we do in choir has to do with mouth shape and vowel shape, and so, you know, if you open your mouth, the masks go everywhere, so we're constantly adjusting these. We bought some new masks that are coming that are specifically designed for singers, and every kid in the entire choir program is going to have their own mask that's custom designed to their face, and so that we can sing safely and a little more easily.
It just required a little patience as we navigated, but I think collectively all those, and there's a whole bunch of folks I didn't mention, as we've learned through this and we've learned together, The virus is still here, and we still have positive cases from time to time, but all in all, teams are still playing, bands are still marching, and that's a great thing.
For MHS Rewind, I'm Peyton Smith.
The Food Services Department in the MSD of Martinsville is also dealing with new safety protocols put in place because of COVID-19. Silas McFarland sat down with Food Services Director Kurt Bodell to talk about some of those changes and some of the new programs students can take advantage of at MHS.
COVID-19 has had a huge impact on schools. How has it impacted the day-to-day operations in food services?
We've changed some packaging since students are no longer eating in the cafeteria. They're taking things back into the classrooms. We wanted to make sure packaging was secure. Also, we wanted to make sure that if there were areas of congestion, that we were trying to minimize those. So that's kind of one of the reasons we went to the third lunch period this school year. We typically have had a 4-digit PIN that students use to kind of bring up their lunch account. And so this year we rolled out like a ID, like a electronic ID within Skyward that students would kind of scan. And so we're probably about 20% of the students using that actual barcode within Skyward. But so we'd like to, some more to jump on board with that to kind of help speed up those lines. So that's kind of the changes that we've seen within the high school food service operation.
Recently, the USDA announced that they would fund all student meals until December 31st. Could you talk a little bit about that program?
So because of COVID and situations surrounding COVID, it's been important for the USDA to see that all kids have access to food, and them knowing that parents, some without jobs and different financial situations have changed at home. The USDA on August 31st announced the extension of what we call our summer food service program. So the summer food service program is a program that we've done for about 12 years here in Martinsville that allows us to feed kids during the summer months, regardless of families' income. So they've extended that into the start of the school year until December 31st for the entire country. So that allows us to serve all students at Martinsville High School for free. One of the great things that we have here at Martinsville as far as food service, our wells open from the start of the day about 7:15 until about 3:15 every day. So that's a great benefit for students at Martinsville High School to have access to food throughout the school day, not necessarily just in the morning or at lunch. So we appreciate all the students and faculty at the high school. Definitely COVID for us, it's about being flexible and kind of working together with different people. And so just thank you for, your patience and just kind of coming, all the changes within food service. We all like to eat. We all need to eat for nutrition every day. And we just enjoy working with all the students and faculty here to kind of make sure that we're meeting the needs for students every day.
Big thank you to Kurt Bodell for sitting down with us. You can check out the full interview on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel.
Here are a couple of quick announcements. Class of 2021, the Senior Success Center is giving away gift cards to Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. But you need to be a member of the SSC Google Classroom to be eligible. Anyone in the class of 2021, including early junior grads, can find the code posted outside the SSC, or you can email Mr. Carl Wagner and ask for it. Drawings for the gift cards are twice a month.
The MHS cheerleaders are sponsoring an Artesian Spirit pumpkin decorating contest. Decorate a pumpkin with an Artesian theme and tag the cheerleaders on Twitter or Instagram at Artesian Cheer. First place is a $25 gift card of your choice. Second place is a $10 Starbucks gift card. Please post by October 30th. Winners will be announced on the 31st. It was a great weekend for MHS athletics. The MHS Volleyball team captured a sectional championship on Saturday night. Dylan Roden went to practice this week to check in on the team as they prepare for regionals.
The volleyball team was back in the John R. Wooden gym this week practicing for this weekend's regional. Martinsville won the Columbus East sectional Saturday night over number 11 Columbus East in 5 sets.
It means almost more to me as a coach than it ever did as a player, because it's not just for me, it's for all of my girls, their parents, the community, the school, and all of my hard work that I've put in my own coaching career for a very long time.
So our championship match was pretty exciting. We definitely played our hardest and the best we've ever showed out this weekend, so it was pretty good.
None of these girls have ever been in a sectional final before. It's a different feeling. I knew that we would have to slow down, let them get their points, and let things kind of settle in.
Katie Huang came off the bench to serve the last point to give the Artesians their first sectional championship in 8 years.
I was really nervous. I was like, I just don't want to mess up. I know that this is like the end for me. So because I'm a senior, it's like my last chance. This could be my last chance to play. And so I was like, I just want to get this in. I just want a good serve in, and that's all I was thinking about. I was like, I just need to make this in.
So I knew this was her big moment, but I was very calm with her. I knew she was going to be just fine. She hit a great serve.
So as I saw Mackenzie go up and Mackenzie and Ella go up to block, and I saw the ball go down, I was like, we won sectionals. It was like in a moment, I couldn't believe that we won sectionals, like for the first time in so many years.
Third-year head coach Kayla Back prepares the team this week as they face Providence in the first game on Saturday morning at Bloomington North at 11. Providence is 20-6 this season. They've won 10 straight sectionals.
Very hard practices, perfecting a few things here and there, little tweaks, working on those rotations that are a little weaker than other rotations. And then as we get closer to Saturday, we'll start working on those rotations that we're strongest at to build our morale going in, so we know that we can do this.
We have a really strong bond this year with our team, and we're all just really close, and we don't want to let this season end.
We're definitely gonna have to show up again and just play our hardest and play our hearts out, just like on for Saturday, and just have a great time.
For MHS Rewind, I'm Dylan Roden.
If you don't have a ticket to the regional, you can watch it live starting at 11 o'clock Saturday morning on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel.
The boys and girls cross-country teams ran in the regional Saturday at Columbus. The boys team finished 4th and advanced to semi-state. The girls finished 8th, but Alina Warzella advanced to semi-state as an individual with 17th place. Carson Heath once again led the way for the boys. The senior ran a personal best and finished 3rd in a race featuring the top team in the state. The week before, Heath dominated the sectional, crossing the finish line 15 seconds ahead of his closest competitor. But that's really no surprise. Heath has been separating himself from the rest of the pack since he started running. But last winter, the MHS senior wasn't sure if he would ever compete again. Here's his story in an MHS Rewind in Focus.
It's definitely been a wild ride. I used to be one of the top guys in the state. It was nothing a runner should be going through, or any teenager. I was kind of lost at the time. I didn't know what my athletic future was going to be like. I didn't know what my future was going to be like, and it was a big adjustment. My name's Carson Heath. I'm a senior at MHS, and I run cross country.
Carson Heath started running at a young age and has been running ever since.
I started running when I was 7. A lot of people don't believe that, but I mean, yeah, I kind of enjoy just, doing something different than everybody else, and it's kind of just been my passion ever since.
I remember seeing him run when he was little, in the Dino series, that kind of stuff, the trail races, things like that, and he was always successful there. And then he ran for me in middle school, and he was, very successful there.
Heath continued his success his freshman year in high school. He finished 17th in regionals and qualified for semi-state. But then sophomore year, injuries hit, and his wild ride was just getting started.
Kind of a negative subject, but I like to, I talk about it a lot with my friends and family and stuff, but sophomore year was definitely the start of a bad pattern of, just terrible things happening in my life.
It started out with a bad foot, caused by different types of tendinosis. Heath could not run. He would bike and swim during team practices.
Didn't have a great season sophomore year because of that, and track season was just really frustrating because I just wasn't seeing the times I wanted to. I wasn't placing like I wanted to, and I don't want to say my injuries define me, but they definitely played a big role in the development of me and as an athlete. And I used to be one of the top guys in the state, and it's a big adjustment.
But he bounced back and still managed to make it to semi-state his sophomore and junior years. But last winter, the injury bug hit Heath once again. His wild ride continued, and this time it had him questioning his future in the sport.
It's a back injury, a lower back injury, bulging disc, and if anybody knows what that is, it's not a fun thing to have. It's miserable. You can't sleep well. You can't get out of bed. You can't even put your socks on. Honestly, you feel like you're like 90 years old, and it was nothing a runner should be going through, or any teenager. I kind of just felt like I was kind of lost at the time. I didn't know what my athletic future was going to be like. I didn't know what my future was going to be like.
But constant trips to the doctor and chiropractor taught Heath about his body, and he learned what was good for it and what was bad for it, and once again, he battled back.
This has definitely been my best season by far. I've kind of separated myself from being, good a little. Now I'm a little better, and I don't know. I'm kind of getting into some of the top, level of high school running. I started training with one of the top guys in the nation, Will Jefferson. He's in our conference at Whiteland, and he built up my confidence, and we did a lot of good training together, and I ended up running some of my fastest times this summer and then this cross-country season. So injuries have played a big role, but kind of glad they happened. But at the same time, it's been a wild ride with that.
He just performed so well, and we have a saying here, Martinsville cross country as a whole. We say when it's too tough for everybody else, it's just right for us. And he just, it was just an example of that mindset.
Yeah, so my mindset going into everything is to get the job done, honestly.
And that starts with his training. Heath runs 50 to 55 miles a week. He starts out his week on Monday with a long 12-mile run. Tuesday is his workout day. It's a harder 4 to 5 mile run at a faster pace. Wednesdays, around 8 to 9 miles, and Thursday is similar to Tuesday.
Fridays, usually a pre-meet day, so it'd be really easy. Usually a really short run at a pretty easy pace, and then I'll do some strides, which are basically like some sprints to just get kind of the rhythm of running fast. And then Saturday, usually a meet day. So our races in high school are 5K, which is about 3.1 miles. And yeah, Sundays, typically easy, around 8 or 9 miles, just kind of finishing the week out. So yeah, it's typically what a week of my life's like.
He just gets the job done. He makes it look effortless, and so it's. Once again, I'm not surprised by his success, but he's at a different level, and I think that once high school's over and he goes to on to college, I think you're going to see him flourish even more there.
Definitely plan on running college. Kind of not really sure where I want to run. I'm kind of behind on the recruiting process because I didn't run some of the fastest times with all my injuries going on, so kind of behind on that, but I'm getting there, and I'm hoping this winter and in the track season I get some more attention to my name, and hopefully I get to a school that I want to run at.
That attention may be coming sooner than he thought. Heath dominated the field at the cross-country sectional, winning by 15 seconds, and he finished third last week at regionals on the home course of the top-ranked team in the state.
I think he's right there with some of the best runners we've had here. I know that he's worked some with Jace Lowry, and if you go look at the record board up there in the gym for track and field, things like that, Jason's got the records, that kind of stuff. And no, his dedication, his work ethic, his mindset, his toughness, it's all right there with him. He's on track to be one of the best runners to come through Martinsville. He just is.
Injuries may have slowed Heath's pursuit in some of those records, but they've also given him a greater appreciation for the sport and his health.
Being a runner, you kind of go into it knowing that you're going to put your body through a lot, and you just kind of have to outweigh the pros and cons. And I think that there's a lot of rewards that running brings, and I'm able to say that I'm happy I made those choices. So.
Heath and the rest of the boys team, along with Alina Warzella, will all be running in semi-state Saturday at Brown County. Best of luck to all those runners.
The MHS football team opens up sectional play tonight at home against Jennings County. The coaching staff put in a lot of work this week, just like they do every week, getting ready for the game. We went behind the scenes earlier this season to get a closer look at how the coaches and the players and the team prepare for their upcoming opponent.
So, it is our job this week to make sure that we don't overlook them. It is our job this week to make sure that we are playing to the best of our ability and are more fundamentally sound and more disciplined than them.
Martinsville football coaches meet every Sunday to watch film and discuss game plans for the upcoming week.
The coaching staff is here on Sundays from about 1 o'clock till about 5 o'clock. I'll stay here till about 7 or 8, just kind of finalizing some stuff. So you're getting a good 6 or 7 hours on a Sunday, just to kind of put the whole game plan together, and then the individual film that goes into it with each day.
The coaches then break off into offense and defense. Offense looks at what the upcoming opponent's defense does and goes through the new plays that head coach Brian Duggar added for the week.
I really like the initial kind of breaking them down after we've got all the inputs in there and just getting on the board and starting to draw. The coaches kind of make fun of me, say I kind of go Sheldon Cooper-ish and just start drawing a little bit up there and kind of going nuts with it. But that kind of me, it's kind of where I'm home. It's kind of fun.
Defense goes to a different part of the locker room and goes over film with Coach Alan Trump. The coaches use a computer program called Huddle to put all the pieces together. The new technology has definitely made the whole process a lot more efficient.
It used to be the coaches would have to meet up with whoever they're playing at like 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. If you're playing, when I was at Southport, if we were playing Bloomington, we'd meet in Martinsville and exchange film and then drive back home that early in the morning. So that was no fun, and now with the Huddle, it's mandatory to just have a quick little click and it's done.
Now that the players have an easy way to get to and watch the film, a lot more film watching is expected.
There's a lot of work that goes into this. This isn't just Friday night call play and hope for the best. There's hours and hours of preparation that goes into it from not only coaches' standpoints but players. We expect our players to watch a lot of film and be prepared with the game plan too. So it's not like something's just roll the dice on Friday night. Everything's been thought out and everything's been well planned.
Coach Duggar introduces the game plan for the week to the players on Monday through a series of Huddle slideshows. Players gather in the team room to watch these special team slideshows and see if they plan to add anything special for the week. The team then breaks off into offense and defense. The defense heads into the locker room with the defensive coaches to watch the defensive slideshows for that week, while the offense stays in the team room and watches the offensive slideshows, which go over the other team's defense and introduces the new plays for the week.
Helps a lot. Knowing what we're going to go out there and see really helps put you in the situation throughout the week, going through practice, the scout team helping.
I mean, I get to see what my cornerback does and what his moves are and like how do I counter that.
The offense practices the new plays for the week against the scout team defense. The defense runs through their new game plan against the scout team offense. By Thursday, everything's in place and ready to go for Friday night.
This part is Thursday's practice when, the hay's in the barn and the plan's all kind of there and we're kind of seeing the final touches on it and what it looks like. That's always a good fun feeling.
A good feeling made even better when all that preparation pays off for a big win on Friday night.
Hey, that's what we talked about finishing, right? We talked all week long about finishing. That's how you finish a game right there. One play, one stop, we got it done.
Kickoff for the game against the Panthers is set for 7 o'clock. If you don't have a ticket, we've got you covered. The live stream starts at 6:45 on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel with a pregame show.
One final announcement in sports. Anyone interested in joining the swimming and diving team should stop by room 201 to pick up materials from Coach Kirtland.
And finally today, Brad Perry is one of the more recognizable teachers at MHS.
He teaches publications, mass media, English, and this year he even started teaching marketing.
He has that trademark beard, and some students appreciate his humor, sarcasm, and ability to connect with them in the classroom.
But this really doesn't come by accident. Perry is pretty tuned into popular culture and what's happening in the world today. So it really wasn't a big surprise when he showed up to work at the start of the school year on an electric scooter.
Blaine Maxwell has the story.
So a few years ago, I rode a rental Lime scooter down in Bloomington on IU's campus, and I loved it, and I came back talking to my wife about it. So this year for my birthday, she got me one. I don't know, it's just different, and I'm a different kind of guy. I don't know. I live 1.5 miles away from here, and it just made sense to have something that I didn't have to go out and start every morning and worry about. And I don't know, I can ride it right to my desk, and if I don't get to ride it every day, I kind of get bummed out. It's fun. If you've never ridden one, it's different. Going 20 miles an hour, 4 inches off the ground it's just different. The first day I rode this specific scooter, I was going up Grassy Fork Lane in Shireman, and I was looking at a new house they were building, and I didn't pay attention to the invisible speed bumps that are there. They're not yellow, they're just concrete colored, and I smoked one going about 12 miles an hour and went over the handlebars, and luckily there was an old man going behind me real slow and he didn't run me over, so that was good. Got, you know, certain routes that I like to run. It's got a 25-mile range, but I'm kind of fat, so it doesn't quite get that, and we live in a hilly area. I get 10 to 15 miles per charge, and it goes, like I said, 20 miles an hour. Kids think it's awesome. Hey, there goes that scooter guy again. Some adults think it's great. Some people, I've been yelled at for being a hippie by a guy in a big truck at a gas station. Most people think it's awesome. Some think it's different and weird. I would recommend it to everybody. If you've never tried it, go to Bloomington, find a Lime scooter, rent it, and you'll feel like a big kid again. That's what it is for me. I just feel like a big stupid kid with a beard. Ring the bell at you.
Braxton, wouldn't you just love a scooter like that?
Cole, I'll tell you, I'd ride that thing every dang day. Well, that just about wraps it up for this edition of MHS Rewind.
Remember, if you can't make it to the games this weekend, you can tune into our live stream coverage of the football sectional and volleyball regionals on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. For Braxton Dilly and the rest of the RTV2 class, I'm Cole Meyer.
Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.